Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another tutorial. In this video, we're going to talk about content filters. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add content filters, and gives us the ability to add things to multiple pages at once instead of having to go onto each page and add that information to every page. And what we're going to use is we're just going to use a button or a link as an example. So let's get started. So here on the ideapro.io site, I've changed the theme to the 2020 theme, which just came out in WordPress version 5.3, I believe. Let's make sure that that's the version that we're on. Yes, 5.3. So in 5.3, if you update your WordPress website, it will install the 2020 theme. So we've got that theme installed, and I wanted to use that as an example just to show you that this will work on any theme and not just a theme that we've built. And then we've got a menu over here. We've got Home, About Us, Contact Us, and then About Us. Underneath that, we have Our Story. So if we go to About Us, we've just got some lorem ipsum text on there. If we go to Contact Us, same thing. We've just got some filler text in there, and we'll go back to the home page. All right, so what we want to do is at the bottom of each of these pages, we want to add a Contact Us button. So we're going to build a plugin that will create a content filter and add that button to the bottom of each of these pages. So here on our code side, we're going to create a new file, and we're going to save that, and we're going to go into our WP content and then go into our plugins folder. We're going to create a new folder called Josh Content Link. That's our folder name. Now we're going to copy that. We're going to create that folder, and then we're in the folder Josh-content-link. So we're going to name our PHP file the same thing with the extension .php. So if you haven't watched the plugin, how to create a plugin video, I'll link that up in the cards and in the tutorial in the description. This is basically how you create a plugin, but you should watch that plugin tutorial so that you understand each step of how to create a plugin. All right, so we're going to open some PHP tags. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to put comment in here. Now, I've had a lot of people email me and put comments in that they're saying once they activate their plugin, they get an error. You can't have any space or line breaks or anything like that before this first PHP opening tag. Okay, so here after this comment, we're going to say plugin name, and it's going to be Josh's content link. You can name this whatever you would like. All right, then we're going to put another asterisk and a slash. Now this is just the plugin name up here. You could add description. Let's add a description. Link for each page. That's good enough. And so in this area here, this commented out area, you could add the author of the plugin. You could add a lot more details. You can watch that plugin video, the plugin tutorial that I did, that will show you how to do more of that. So now we have our plugin created. We can go into our admin area, which I will pull that up because I have that on a different screen here. All right, let's pull that in here real quick. And I did that because I want to show that this page here, I don't want to have the admin bar at the top and stuff like that. So this is actually a private window or an incognito window here, because I didn't want that admin bar to show up and stuff like that. So now let's go to our plugins. And we just created, and we have a bunch on this website, HIJ. We have a bunch on here. Wow. Here we go. Josh's content link. So we're going to activate that plugin. If you've done everything right, it should say plugin activated. if you have a space before this first opening PHP tag, it will say that there was an error created and a certain number of lines of text were outputted. All right, so now we have our plugin activated. If you come back here and refresh this page, it shouldn't affect anything on this page yet. All right, so now we're going to create a new function in our plugin, and we're going to call it Josh Content Link. You can call that function whatever you would like. So then after this function, this closing function tag, we're going to call a function called add filter. And we're going to do 2 open parentheses and close parentheses. Now this here requires 2 arguments. The first one is going to be what we're filtering out, and that is going to be the content. And then the second one is going to be our callback function. So that is our function name that we created here. So we're going to copy that and we're going to paste it in here. Now, inside of our opening and closing function parentheses here, we need to create a variable and call it content. Now what that does is it says get the current content, which is all of this information here, and bring it into this function through the content variable. Okay, so if we left this blank like this and we hit save and we come over here and we refresh our page, see how we lost all the content from our page? It's because now our function here is filtering the content, but it's not returning anything. So now our page is blank. So if we went in here and put in return welcome, now every page that we have is just going to say welcome. So if we go to About Us, it just says welcome. If we go to Contact Us, it just says welcome. So we've kind of broken our site by not returning this content variable. So if we do that here, we take out this and do return content and save. Now we come back over here and refresh, and now our content is back. Okay, so that's how we're going to filter our content, is we can play around with this content variable. All right, so let's say we wanted to wrap that content variable in a div. Let's say we wanted to wrap all the content in a div, right? So we could say content is equal to div, whoops, I guess we need an opening bracket there, and close div. And then inside here, we're going to put in the content. So now we've wrapped that in a div. Let's put a style to it. So we're going to say background color is blue, and the color of the font is going to be white. And if we save that, we come back over here and we refresh. Now all of our content is wrapped with a div that has a background color of blue. So that's one way you can update the all the content. So see there on the About Us page, on the Contact Us page, we've wrapped all of our content in a blue div. Now we could also add some padding to that. Padding is, let's do 14 pixels. Save that. We come back over here and we refresh the page. Now we've added a little bit of padding. Let's add a little bit more. Let's say 24 pixels. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so now we refresh. So now we've added some padding around that content. So if we go back to our home page, all those updates are the same here. All right, so let's say we want to change this to gray. Come back here and refresh, and so now we've added that gray color. But if you see down here, it's still making this, it's still making this come out as a gray, because our color here only affects the stuff inside of this tag. If it's wrapped with its own special class, or it has its own style, then it will still stay the same, and we need to change that, right? But that's not what we want to do today. We want to add a button at the bottom of the content for, we're going to add a contact us button at the bottom of every page. Let's get rid of this entire line here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do content is equal to, and the best way to do this would be to content dot equals. That way, this is continuing the string content, and it'll add this content to it. So content dot equals, and then we're just going to put a link in here, and we're going to say contact us. And we know if we go to our contact page, we can copy this URL and say href is equal to, we can add that link in there. And now if we hit save, we're going to come over here and we're going to refresh the page. And now we have a button or a link that says contact us. Now that will show up on every page. See, it's at the bottom of every page. If we go to about us, now it's on the bottom of every page. Okay. All right. So now we've added that contact us, and we're going to add a style that comes with the 2020 theme. So we're going to add a class here. It's equal to, and that class is going to be WP block button 2 underscores and link. So now we come over here and refresh, and we scroll down to the bottom of the page, and we have a big contact us button down here. All right, so now we can move this if we want to above the content and below the content. Let's make this a little bit bigger so we can see the whole thing here. So right now we have it just appending basically to the bottom of our content. But let's say we wanted it to the top of our content. There's a couple ways we can do that. The best way to do it would be to take out this dot. So now we're controlling the content. If we just leave it like that and we come over and we refresh our page, now we're replacing all the content with the contact us button. Okay, so now we need to add the content in. So we can do that right here. We say content dot, and now we come over and we refresh. Now all of our content is back and we have our button at the bottom. Now if we come back over here and we take this out and we do dot content on the back side, save, come over here and refresh. Now our contact button is at the top of the page. And you can style this button however you would like. I'm just using this as an example. The 2020 theme just came out. So I'm just using this as an example. But you could add, a style here, or you could add a different class. So we could say background color is blue, border radius is 50 pixels. Okay, come back over here and we refresh. So now we have a blue button, white text, and a border radius of 50. Okay, all right, again, we can take that content link or that content variable, remove it from that end of it and put it here on the front, content dot, and then what that does is that puts our button toward the bottom of the page, right? So you can put any content that you want in that filter to edit out, to add stuff to the header or the footer of your content, or above and below the content. Now, there's other ways that you can filter out. Let's say you've used someone's name throughout a bunch of content and you've added pages and pages of content, and they're like, ooh, I don't want my last name to show up in there. So the way you could do that is, let's get some information here. So let's do Idea Pro. Let's say this word, we don't want Idea Pro in there anymore. So we can come up to the content here, and well, let's just leave this in here, but we're going to comment it out. And here we're going to say content is equal to, and we're going to do an str replace. This is just using this as an example. And so this first variable is going to be Idea Pro. This next one, we're going to put in Josh as the example. And then we're going to call the content. and we're going to save that. So now if we come over here and refresh, we have welcome to our Idea Pro testing area. And we're going to refresh, and so now it says welcome to our Josh testing area. All right, so that's just an example. If we wanted to remove this, we would just leave this blank and come over here and refresh. Welcome to our testing area, right? So we're like, oh, we didn't want to use Idea Pro on every one of those pages, and so we could use a replace or a preg replace and replace all the instances of the name Idea Pro. That is all I have for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe, leave me a comment, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Thanks. So if we add the we can't, really? I got your brother yesterday, buddy. I'm gonna go play tennis after this with the mosquito. No.